Hello friends, in this section we are going to continue from where we left. So in the last session we created a front page for our website, and we had three sections in that, right? So there was one header section, a main section, and a footer section in the page itself, and it was all hard coded. So in the code, this is my Angular IDE. If you see that was our main page, the front page of the website. I just put it a header and a main section and a footer, and that is where we left in the last lecture. So in this lecture, what we are going to do is that we'll create three components in Angular. One for this portion for header, then there will be a portion for this one where we will show our content of the website. This will be like this will keep changing depending upon what we navigate in our website, and then there will be a fixed portion for the footer. So let's start creating these components. I'll go to the command prompt, and I'll start creating the component. So I'll use Angular CLI. Ng G is for generate component, and first I want to create a header component. So it will create few files, kind of a skeleton for the component, and then we can write our code there. It has created them. Let's go back in our Angular IDE and see here. So this the header component we have got created, and if you see in the HTML here, so when you create a component, you get these four files. There's a TypeScript file where you write the logic, and then there's a HTML file where you write the HTML for this component, and then this is CSS. It's a local CSS for this particular component, and then there's a this spec file which is for the testing purpose. Okay, so let's see here in the HTML. Currently, I don't have any logic to be executed before, so I'll just not do anything here in my TS TypeScript file. I'll just leave it as is. But I'll open my HTML, and this is what we have. By default, it creates something like just a blank this default thing, header works or something. So that's fine. We'll keep it here. And so now if we go and see what happens in our browser, we'll see that right. So this portion we want to display the header component instead of this hard-coded thing. I want this component to be used there. So what I'll do, I'll go here and take the selector for this component. This is a selector, and then wherever I want to use this component, I'll just use this. So I'll go to the app component.html, and instead of this header, I'll use this component now. Okay. So we are using this portion uh, to be displayed app header here. So let's go back and see what happens. You can see that this section is now getting populated by the header component. Similarly, I'm going to create a footer now. So I'll go here and same command, but this time I'm going to create a component for footer. Okay, so it will create a component here for footer, and similarly I'm going to, that's fine here, and this is a TypeScript file. Here you can see the selector for this component, and then I want to use this in my header, sorry, in the app component.html. That's the default which gets loaded. So instead of hard-coded footer, I want to display this component which we have just created. Okay, so let me go back to the browser, and you can see here this portion is coming from the footer component now. And similarly, I'm going to create a main section. So for that, I'm going to create a main page component. main page component, and it will create the files. And I'll go back to this Angular IDE, and here you can see that we have got this main page, and very similar to the others, this one, right? So you can take this from the TypeScript file. You will take the selector anywhere you want to use in the HTML. This component, you can just use this selector, and let's see what happens on the browser. So all these three portions of this front page of our website are now getting loaded using three components that we have just created. Header component, this is the main page, and this is a footer component. Okay. So the idea is that we'll keep header, this section, we are going to customize this, and we'll most probably will keep it everywhere in the website. Maybe we'll not keep it on the front page, or like I think after login we'll create a login page, and once user successfully logins, after that we'll start showing this section everywhere in the website. Okay, maybe we'll create a navigation bar or something, and that will be in here. Similarly, we'll create a copyright thing or some contact details or something that we want to keep it on all the pages everywhere. So we'll put in the footer component, and we'll keep it across the website. And this section we want to display the rest of the things. Right? This is kind of the main page, like main content. And on the front page, this page we will show the main page of the website, and then we can give some link or something. But then this portion will keep changing depending upon what we want to do. If you want to do login, then we'll show a login page here, and then after login is successful, then this portion will show the landing page, right? And then when you click on a link there, then it will take to the respective page, and that those all things will be loading in this section itself. Okay, so that's the plan. So we'll start customizing these things, but I think once we start customizing, we also need some CSS, the styling, because otherwise it won't look good. So I think before I start making the changes in these components to make them look good, I'll have to also include the CSS in this website. And to make it look good, you can use you can start creating your HTML and CSS, or if you want to use a ready-made template, that you can also use if you don't want to spend much time on the front end side. So for this web page, what I'm going to do, for this front page, I'm going to use a ready-made template, and then I'll change that to fit in into our Angular application. So you can get template from like a lot of websites which provide free template as well as paid template. Depending upon your need, you can choose one of the templates, and then you can just customize that. Okay, so in the next lecture, we are going to use a template, and then we will use that and make changes to fit into our Angular application, and then we'll customize that. Okay, so thanks for joining for this lecture, and see you shortly.